Hi, it's John Cronshaw here with my author diary for the weekend in September the 7th, 2025. I've had a busy week. So last weekend I went and, we hired an Airbnb in Lytham. And what I was doing is I was basically location scouting for a novel idea that I've got. So what is it? I've dug it out, but a few years ago, I wrote a psychological thriller novella as a bit of a side thing, and I've done nothing with it. So I've basically gone over that and kind of repackaged it as a bit of a freebie that I'll give away to people who sign up to my newsletter. I'm basically going to do a psychological thriller novel, maybe a few of them, I don't know. I've just got a few stories in my head that I need to get out of my head. That is what I'm going to work on for a little bit. I did work on the Sentinel's Mercy this week. I'm about 75% into that, and also outlined this first psychological thriller story. Now, with the psychological thrillers, these are basically side project thingies. So I'm probably going to do these under a different pen name. It might be that I don't do anything with them. Well, I just want to get them out of my head. I'm just gonna, because I've done like quite a few short stories that are leaning into that genre anyway. I may as well get these novels done, and I'm planning on writing them in first person. So that'll be a lot quicker. Like, first person is a lot quicker to write than my fantasy stuff, my third person stuff. Just because when you're dictating, it's a lot easier to kind of be in the character's head and to be like, I did this, I did that, and that should be a lot easier to do. I'm saying this now, and I'm seeing the big neon hubris sign flashing straight ahead of me. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that's what I'll do. I don't have to think about magic systems. I don't have to think about how this fits into the larger meta story. It's going to be a standalone, and if I do write in this genre, they will all be standalones because, just the series thing at the minute is I don't want to get burned out with it, and it's just it's meant to be a bit of a fun side project. So I will carry on anyway with doing that over the probably next few months. I've got Sentinel's Mercy to finish, so I should, because my son's back at school now, so kind of back into our normal routine. So I should get my draft finished of that next week. It's who knows how the next few months are going to look. I'm just kind of I've said this before, how I like follow what most excites me. And at the moment, this is what's most exciting me, which is probably rubbish for my fantasy readers, which is why I'm going to do it, as I say, as a pen name. That's that. Next week then, as I say, I want to finish Sentinel's Mercy. I also want to finish this outline for this psychological thriller. I've basically got two stories that I want to do. One of them will be set in Lytham, where it went at the weekend. There's some, because like one of the things, like, these are, I think you'd call them domestic thrillers. They're like very claustrophobic, set in a small community, bit of a kind of middle class feel to them, but it's all about kind of family secrets and stuff like that. So Lytham, let's just say there's a lot of big houses and a lot of Range Rovers around Lytham, so that is perfect. And where we stayed, there was kind of a alley nearby that ran along the train station which was called like Serpentine Walk, which was a gloomy alleyway, and kind of atmospheric, cool name. So just kind of thinking about, that's where you'd find a body, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff there. The other story would be set in Lancaster. I live in Morecambe, which is basically the coastal suburb of Lancaster. I think basically with these stories, I'm going to focus on not necessarily northern, but Midlands and north of the Midlands, and kind of English, but not the south, just because I've lived in, quite a few places around the north of England. I've lived in Leeds, and grew up in Wolverhampton, lived in Newcastle under Lyme. So there's all these different places that could feature as a place for a story. Lived near Penrith for a year, so there's like different areas which I think there's stories there that I've ignored because of being focused on my fantasy stuff. But all these stories have kind of lingered in my head. There's kind of places, locations like Lancaster. We go there quite a bit. That's where my son goes to school. The town itself, it's got like a mixture of medieval. You've got the Victorian stuff, and then you've got the modern stuff. So thinking that there's some cool locations that would be quite visually stunning. Like the Ashton Memorial or the Millennium Bridge. Places where I think about them in terms of like what scenes could take place here. And that's the same kind of thing that I did with Lytham. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about at the moment. So that's quite exciting. So until next time, cheerio.